it's Jackie Bolhuis from Klompen Stampers. Got a question for you. Who likes to do puzzles? You know, this time of year, my husband and I, we're kind of locked in the house during the winter. We love doing puzzles, which made me finally play with the Love You to Pieces stamp set. I have to admit, I've had it since the catalog came out because I thought it was like super cool, but it was uninked. Well, I changed that and I went a little bit crazy because I couldn't stop playing with it. It's fun, it's easy, it's unique. I've got several cards to show you today and a whole bunch of tips that will help you be successful with the stamp set and the coordinating framelits. So let me go ahead and flip the camera down. Oh wait, first, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, and share this with your friends. I love bringing videos to you guys 3 times a week, but I need your help and support to know that you like the videos I'm sharing. So let me know. Now, let's flip it down and let's look at these super fun cards. I have to tell you, the stamp set was so addicting. I couldn't stop. So I'm going to give you a quick peek at these cards, and then we're going to come back to each of them, and I'm going to give you a couple of tips. Tips for using the framelits and how to stamp them and cut them and line them up. So this video, make sure you watch it all the way to the end because I've got so many different tips, not only for this stamp set, but that will help you in your other card making as well. So let's set these aside. First thing I want to talk about is this fun little, I call it the color coach. I don't know if that's the official term of it or not, but this is something that Stampin' Up! Provided the downloads, and I will provide a link in my blog post that goes with this video so that you can download all of these yourself. And what they are, now I made mine, they're white sheets, so you can cut them apart, and then I attached each one to the color it belonged to. And what this does is it takes each color. So for instance, here's Granny Apple Green, and it gives you different combinations that look really well with that color. So that's how I made these cards. I thought, I love Granny Apple Green. So I flipped through here, found Granny Apple Green. I'm like, what color combination? And Granny Apple Green, Night and Navy, Real Red were on here. So those are the colors I used for all of the cards I'm making today. So like I said, check the description of the video. It will head you over to the blog, which will have all the information as to how to make this and the downloads for all of these color combinations with all of the Stampin' Up! Colors. So what I did for all of my cards when I started playing, I used the die that looks like a puzzle, and it simply cuts out 16 puzzle pieces. So I did one out of Granny Apple Green, I did one out of Night and Navy, and I did one out of Real Red. So I just had a whole bunch of pieces to start playing with as I created. So I'm going to show you a couple of tips here because, and we're going to talk about this card. Now, well, let's back up here. Let's look at this card first. So once I cut out all of these pieces, I just took a scrap of Whisper White and I put the pieces together. They fit just like a puzzle. I adhered them all down and then I trimmed the extra off. So that's how we put that card together. Now with this one, you'll notice I left all the Night and Navy. It's mounted onto the piece of Real Red, and there's a missing piece right here, but you're seeing the red from below. So like that puzzle piece, okay, I don't know if it's probably my pile here someplace. Looks like, there it is. Okay, I just didn't use it. So a tip here, when you're cutting this out, we're gonna keep these pieces all together to make it super simple on you. So I'm using my magnetic platform. The only reason I use the magnetic platform in this case is because then I don't have to use the thin die adapter. So you can use your regular platform, but you'll need that thin die adapter. And then clear plastic plate, piece of cardstock on top. We're going to put our thinlet right there on top of it and another clear plastic plate. Now we'll go run this one through the Big Shot. Okay. Now here is my tip for when you want to keep these pieces together. I'm going to carefully pick this up and let it just fall out of the big square. Okay, so I have all the pieces together here, and then I'm going to flip it over, and I am going to use just old-fashioned Scotch tape. Now, if you want one piece out like I did, I'm going to pop one of these out. There we go. And we're going to tape all these other pieces together. So just go ahead, put Scotch tape on all of the, don't call them seams, but I don't know, all the cut lines, okay? And some littler pieces over here, because what this will do, when we pop this all out, then the pieces will stay together and you don't have to make your puzzle, okay? So I think, let's see, one more should have everything pretty much together. Get them all taped together, and then when you flip it over, just kind of carefully, because they're not, you know, taped super good together, you should be able to punch all of these out, keeping your puzzle together. There we go. And then for my card, I just took this, I flipped it over, I put some adhesive on there, and I adhered it to the piece of real red underneath. Now don't worry about all the measurements. I will have pictures of all of these cards in the blog post, along with the recipe and the size of all the different pieces that I used. But that's how you get them to all stay together. So that's this card. You are my missing piece, this little heart. This is another one of the dies that does cut it into a puzzle piece. And it fits this stamp here, you are my missing piece. So I simply stamped it on Whisper White, and then I was able to just lay this over, cut it out, and I did the same thing because I wanted my pieces together. I flipped it over, I put some Scotch tape on the back, and then I popped it out. And then I just popped that up on with dimensionals. So take a peek at the inside. We just added 2 of the puzzle stamps to the inside. So that's tips on that one. This one, again, we just added that. Now I did add on almost all of these cards because I'm trying to use little embellishments more. I think sometimes just adding that little doodad makes your card very special without anything difficult. So you can see the little epoxy hearts. Those are in the occasions catalog, but I thought it was perfect just to kind of put those in a couple different places. You can see we got one right there too. I don't know how good they're showing up on the video because they are clear, but in person you can really see them. So this card then, there's 2 stamps in our stamp set that they're larger puzzle pieces, and you can see the size of them here compared to that one that cuts 16 out at a time. So I just stamped those, and then there is the die that cuts those out as well, plus the little hearts. So again, super simple, popped them up with dimensionals. Now I did use the Subtles embossing folder, I think on almost every card. That's a little addiction of mine, I guess. I think sometimes if cardstock just looks too flat and plain and boring, just run it through the Big Shot with that Subtles embossing folder, and it just really changes it, okay? It's not like flat and plain and boring anymore. So added a couple puzzle pieces to the inside along with our words, and there is that card. And then these 2 over here, this, again, those are 2 different stamps. We have just the outline. This one does not fit into any of the framelits, but it works perfect just to stamp it. And then I stamped the 1 piece at a time inside, added a couple puzzle pieces, and same thing with the inside. And then here's my final one. Now it was really fun. When I set out to make these cards, like I said, I punched out using this one with the Granny Apple Green, the Night of Navy, and the Real Red. I did all of those, and all of these cards are just pieces from that, except, well, the blue one I did separate. And I still have a pile of leftover pieces. So I punched them out, and I just started playing, and I thought, let's see how many different cards we can make. And as you can see here, I could keep going and going and going. So I hope you like those tips. I hope you like this stamp set. It's super fun, and it's just different. And like I said earlier, make sure you check that blog post. It'll lead you to the document so that you can download this. I'll show you how I put mine together, or you can just download it and have it in the full sheets if that works better for you. But this is a great resource for putting together all different color combinations. Just find the color you want to use. There's Pool Party, gives 3 different color combinations. All of them give you 3 fun color combinations. So with that, that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and need a Stampin' Up! Catalog, make sure on my blog you click on catalogs and you can fill out a form there. I'd love to send you a free occasions catalog and celebration brochure. And as always, I'm here to answer all your questions. That's what I love to do. I love to help you figure out things, decide what you need to order depending on what you want to make, or answer any questions you have when it comes to card making. So until I stamp with you again, have a stamp happy day.